and welcome to Model Kit Stuff, and today's first impressions video we're looking at this. It's a Bonito white metal cast model figure of a Royal North British Fusiliers, a private from 1746. So Bonito are a company operating out of Madrid in Spain, and they specialise in white metal figures. They make very high quality figures, as we'll see in a minute, and have been around since the early 80s. I'm sure it says on here somewhere. There you go. Since 1983. So I have done one of their figures before, which is this one here, which is a post-Zulu attack Rorke's Drift type figure. So this was a more expensive one. This was a more expensive figure than that one. But yeah, really nice figure, and really enjoyed painting it. Now, figure painting is something I'm not very good at, but definitely want to get better at, and there's only one way to get better, and that's to practice. So at some point we'll be doing this as a bit of a palette cleanser, if you like. But in the meantime, let's have a look at what we get. So the box is well presented. It's actually a decent size box for the figure that's contained within it. It's well packed, and it gives us the website information. On the back, it tells us a little bit about their shop in Madrid, with some imagery of it. Tells us that they design and manufacture. On this side, it's telling us that it's an assembly miniature for collectors over the age of 14. There's no reference number or price on. I guess that's if it's in their shop, maybe. And then on the top, again, we've got contact details and the website. So when we open the box, and I'll open both ends, inside you can see there is a very thick cardboard box to protect everything from being crushed. I don't remember where I bought this, but if you open both ends of the box, you can push it out. So we get an inner box that is taped down, and then when we open it up, we get a little leaflet. We've got some packing sponge, and then we've got our figure, a little base, the parts for the figure in a bag, and that is it. So that is a well-packed figurine, I think. Let's have a look at the leaflet first. So our leaflet tells us that we've got 7 parts in total, and basically it has a photograph in black and white as per the box art, and it tells us the colours. So orange brown, ochre brown plus flat earth, dark sea blue, rojo red, black and bright orange, and black and flat earth. And there seems to be numbers against them, 893, 908, but there is no reference to what the paint system is that they are referring to. So it's of limited use, to be honest. You've got 2 ways of doing this. You either Google uniform from that period and come up with your own decision. You can go to the website here and look at more pictures of it, which will give you a good idea. But you want to keep hold of the box art, because that's giving you probably the best idea all in all. And then it's down to you and a little bit of artistic license to do the rest. So let's have a closer look at the figure. So what we've got is a typical white metal casting. We've got some cleanup to do on the underside of the soles there. Just need to remove those and get that level with whatever base you're ultimately going to be using. And he's got very well depicted detail in terms of creases in the boot and buttons, and there's a little belt and buckle on the top there. Then the hang of the coat looks natural. We've got a little hole there, but that's for location of a part. And we can see that we've got cast into the figure. We've got a satchel, a water bottle, some form of bag, rucksack. We can see all the strapping there. And on the back of the head, we can see his hair in a bow, which is all nice and as of the period. We have a nicely depicted belt and front straps and a buttoned up tunic. I like the expression on his face. I think that looks quite natural, a little bit pained. There's a seam that runs along here, goes all the way up, and I can't easily see one on the other side, but I imagine there must be. Yeah, probably running in line with that crease, I would imagine. So in terms of cleanup, pretty good actually. There is a little bit of a gouge in his face just there. Now I wonder if we could get away with that being a scar or something, I don't know. But yeah, the cleanup on this is minimal. I think what we would do is give it an obvious cleanup first and then prime it and see what we thought it looked like. But yeah, nothing wrong with that. Let's have a look at some of the other parts. So there is a base that comes with it, a small little base, which is totally flat underneath, so would be easy to mount on a little wooden display block. And the figure sits in there nicely, or will do. First arm now, and this is his right arm. There's a nice natural look to this arm. That crease looks possibly a little deep for me. We might want to put a little bit of filler in and make that a little less deep and more like the folds at the top here, which look nice and natural. We can see there's a little seam there, and again on this side, but it's minor stuff, some tabs to clean off. And then we've got a hole there for the hand. This will be the hand holding the rifle, and then we've got a location pin for his body. Let's see how good that is. I'm expecting it not to be brilliant. Oh, actually, it's better than I imagined. And when you hold it like that, you can see there's a little notch in his arm, which is just in line with that strap. So that's really nice as well. Yeah, lovely little figure. A little bit of cleanup and a little bit of filler needed just on the top of the shoulder there. We can see, if I can get it to focus. Thank you. We need to just round that off and shape that. So a little bit of milliput will be needed once it's glued together. The other arm equally is good. This time the fold in the crook of the elbow is not as deep. But again, we do have a little bit of casting damage just at the top of the shoulder there, nothing major, and a little seam, but it's so light and white metal is so easy to work with. Yeah, that's quite a natural looking arm, I think. Next we've got his satchel. This will hang off his hip. So at the back it's a little bit messy, but you won't see that in the main. There's a seam and a casting block tab on the top there to clean up, but again, really minor stuff. And you've got a nice little coat of arms there, George Regina. Shape's all nice. I'm not sure whether there would have been a button or something on that. have to have a look, but yeah, what we've got looks really nice actually. Then we have a little sword and a scabbard for his bayonet, which will hang off his other hip, so locates just into there. In fact, we'll have a little go. There's a little pip there. So there we go. That looks to hang quite naturally, pushes the sword hilt forward. Yeah, that's nice. Just needs a little clean up. The detail is nice, particularly on the handle. Some really nice detail there. Once we've tidied that up a little bit with some wet and dry, that'll be nice. Just needs a little bit of straightening as well. Notice it's not very straight, but that's not uncommon with white metal, and I've had this for 3 years maybe. So next we have the gun, and as you can see, it's as bent as a banana. So we do have a little bit of work to straighten that out. I'm not going to do it now, but it's a nice depiction of a flintlock rifle. You can see some really nice detail on the flintlock there, and then we've got a nice natural hang to the strap, and I like the hands as well. They look correct for holding the rifle, and the fingers aren't too long. Not too much in the way of clean up on those. So once we've straightened all this out, this should look quite nice. And then you've got the bayonet there, bit of clean up on the end, and again straighten out, and that should look really nice. Yeah. And he will be holding that sort of like that, so it actually adds some real animation to that figure. I really like it. So this is only the second white metal figure I've ever owned, so it's not for me to be able to say that this is particularly good or particularly bad. What I can say is that when I cleaned up the first one, it came up really, really well, and I was really pleased with it, which is what made me go back and buy another one. I quite like the Redcoat period, and I think he's got a nice, natural, slightly concerned look about him. So yeah, for me, that's a nice little figure. There is no major issues with that. A little bit of filling, which is what you'd expect with a cast metal figure. There'll be probably a little bit of fitting and sanding to do to get the two arms in place, but everything else seems to fit okay. It looks natural. The hang of the clothes and the garments and the things like the swords, all natural. So yeah, I think it looks really quite good, and I'm looking forward to practicing some figure painting skills. I hope that was interesting. Take care everyone, enjoy your modelling, and I will see you very soon.